Coming up on Mountain News this morning, flooding caused by heavy rain last week might put a damper on Little League season for one West Virginia county. And a group from Massachusetts makes the long journey to the mountains to help churches across our region make much needed repairs.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
It's almost 6 o'clock on your Tuesday. I'm Dakota Makris. Good morning to you. Let's take it over to Brandon for a look at that forecast this morning, and kind of busy over in the weather department this morning, watching for fog this morning. I mean, it was kind of, what's the word? Is it dense fog? Is that when it's like a lot of fog?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of coming from downtown Hazard to here. I was like, man, but I made it, so that's good.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You travel a short distance.
Right.
I travel a little bit longer of a distance, but regardless of where you're traveling or how far you're traveling, it's foggy out there this morning. That's the thing to remember. We had some rain overnight, so some wet roads, so not a good combination when you put those two together. So anyway, let's take a look at what happened overnight there. Satellite radar loop for the last 6 hours. Some pretty good rain. Dakota and I were talking about earlier how it was good sleeping weather, although I had to get up and he was still snoozing when I got up this morning. But again, it was one of those situations where you just wanted to stay in bed a little bit longer, especially if you got up when it was still raining, or you woke up when it was still raining. But again, that's gone this morning. But the wet roads, I'm having trouble with that phrase this morning. The wet roads are lingering out there. Jenkins, US 119, US 23, not a whole lot of issues right now, but again, light traffic through the first part of your day. Temperatures still dropping out there. We're losing our 50s. Jacksboro, which was the warm spot like 5 minutes ago, is now down to 48. So they're basically 40s pretty much everywhere, with the exception of Harlan at 51. They're the new warm spot right now, and Logan at 50. Everybody else is in the 40s, and you see Jonesville and London, the two coldest, at 41 right now. Sensors all online this morning, and it's going to be making for a nice day later on after the fog. You'll see a mix of sun and clouds. It's going to be a great day out there with temperatures close to 60. Dry for now, but rain chances right back into play as we head to tonight. Dakota?
All right, Brandon, thank you. For kids in Wayne County, West Virginia, this time of year is usually filled with excitement and anticipation of Little League baseball season. But as Alex Jackson shows us, a hit from Mother Nature put the future of this year's season into question.
To see the shape that it's in, it's heartbreaking.
A curveball the Wayne Central Little League never saw coming. Massive flooding wiping out their fields and putting the start to the season in jeopardy, in an overwhelming batting lineup of issues.
You know, you ask what's next, but when you look around, there's so many things that need to be done now.
Now, while this may look like building materials for a project that hasn't started yet, it's actually the roof to this building, and it was ripped off just 2 weeks after it was put on.
When we say that we have lost everything, we truly mean everything is gone. I mean, tryouts are March 4th. Practice is supposed to start the next week. How? Where?
Dorsey says the league is starting small, taking one step at a time to prevent the season from striking out.
Just to hold a practice on these fields, that's our goal now, is just to get the fields able to where they can practice on them.
And the league grateful for the community support they have already received. Complete restoration the top priority to give the kids a baseball season.
It's not about us. It's not about the parents. It's not about all of that. It's these kids.
Holding on to a goal of a home run season without any rain delays.
That was Alex Jackson reporting. Dorsey says he can't guarantee the season will start by its original opening date of April 1st, but does say the league will do everything it can to work toward that. Well, addiction and the increase of fentanyl in our region has had an impact on children needing support from youth services. Opioids sometimes lead to unstable living conditions, something that has become a bigger concern as placement issues increase in Kentucky. Hope Hill Treatment Director Stacy Baca says children who are victims of substance abuse see different homes.
With the opiate addiction, you do see an uptick in that due to things that in the family that can cause, like neglect, sometimes abuse. Even though homelessness may not be overt, but you have like a lot of couch surfing, people jumping from home to home just to have a roof over their head.
Well, Baca also says placement has become a bigger issue since the July flood and affected some hosting homes. Well, over in Pike County Relief Services is working to help flood victims who are still recovering from the July flood. Well, the group has been meeting with those impacted this month, working with agencies like World Renew to connect victims with the places and people who can help them in their journey to recovery. The effort has grown and plans to be a permanent fixture in the area, with a new warehouse already stocked with items to help in the process.
We'll start some fundraising actually pretty quick. Grant writing, some of the things that we've not been able to really pursue a lot of grants so far because of not having all this information.
Well, if you live in Pike County and still need assistance, you can visit the Pike County Relief Services Facebook page. A group of 17 people traveled 16 hours from Millbury, Massachusetts to Hazard during the weekend. Well, the group of volunteers say they will be staying all week, and their mission is to help churches across the country who need help with repairs. Pastor Tim Reynolds at First Baptist Church in Hazard says the group's willingness to come will allow FBC to continue hosting outside groups as they come in to help with flood relief.
They're providing a great service for our church and all of the folks that are going to be staying here. This summer, we'll have, I'm sure, over 300 people to come and do flood relief work that'll be staying here.
Well, Pastor Tim says the group is helping to lay flooring, build beds, and add showers to the church for people that are in town for relief work. Well, thousands of people once again flocked to a small central Kentucky town where a revival is still going strong. The spontaneous revival started February 8th and it's continued on. There's been so many people coming, the town and university in Wilmore needed to make some changes. Our Phil Pendleton has more.
What is it that has drawn so many so often here?
And I mean, this is a testament of it, right? A little town, subway down the street, convenience store over there, but they said 20,000 people. I mean, that's amazing.
It's just people, regular folks, just want to come out and experience the goodness of God.
The last service for the general public was to begin at 2, yet it started as soon as hundreds of young people walked in.
It's really the opportunity to be in a place where the Holy Spirit has descended upon and just been anointed there.
There were so many people that came here Sunday that police pretty much had to shut the town down to anyone other than those who lived here because it was pretty much over capacity. The town was bursting at the seams, and today this parking lot, which is several hundred yards away from Hughes Auditorium, was filling up hours before that 2 p.m. service was to begin. Wilmore is a town of about 5,000, but the town has attracted possibly 3 or 4 times that many. People stay for the services and then stop into local businesses.
I think we're just kind of humble and grateful that just our town has just been so full of people that are seeking God at this time, which is really neat.
Services are more structured and scheduled.
This is not an Asbury planned event. This is not something we have a handbook for. So, we got the sense pretty early on God was doing something really big here, and therefore we knew it wasn't ours to hold forever. And so we're seeing now that there's a natural movement to take this out into the world, which is the sign of a true revival.
While the services are open to everyone, young people still make up most in the crowd. Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
As service times for the public change and different locations are added, you can follow a link to Asbury's website on WYMT.com.
6:08, fog is real out there this morning, so continue to be careful of that. Watch out for thick fog and watch out for wet roads. Take a look at those visibility numbers right now, and you can see near zero back out toward Lake Cumberland, I-75, 5 miles or less there at Williamsburg, Jonesville, Ashland, all impacted. But I'm telling you, I'm looking right outside of the WYMT studios right now. I'm looking outside in Pikeville, those areas, downtown, those areas affected. So 54 now in Harlan. Went up a couple of degrees there. 50 in Logan. Everybody else is in the low to mid to upper 40s this morning. Coffee, a little extra. You'll need that as you head out the door this morning because of the fog and because of the wet roads and because it's early. Donut forecast for the next dozen hours. Well, we're going to see a nice day ahead. Temperatures near 60 this afternoon and a mix of sun and clouds. Dakota?
All right, Brendan, thank you so much. Coming up, President Joe Biden makes his way to Poland to preach unity after a brief surprise meeting in Ukraine.